his school.
Okay, I'm not a public speaker, so you have to forgive me if I stumble over my words. I'm Amy Hensler. This is my son, Eli Mohone. On October 22nd, we were running late for school. His book bag had been misplaced 2 days earlier, and in a rush, I gave him a clipboard and told him to go get some paper so he'd be more prepared for school. When he brought it back, I shoved it into a bag that was on his dresser, and he then ran to the bus and went to school. At 8:30, I got a phone call from him stating, "Mama, that bag you gave me had a knife in it." It had fallen out of his book bag, and as he was trying to get the teacher's attention to go to the office, it fell out again. She came back there, and she didn't notice that it was a knife, of course. And he asked if he could please go to the office. He went on his own account and turned it in to the principal's office. I, of course, turned around and went straight to his school because I know the zero tolerance policy. They don't even contact the parents before they take them to YDC. We went and we spoke with the principal, who actually had not even talked to Eli or anyone in his office to know that he had turned in the knife. We explained everything that had happened. I then took Eli home, and at 2 o'clock I got a call from the Morgan County Sheriff's Department stating that I needed to either bring my son in or they could come pick him up. They arrested him around 2:30 and drove him to YDC, which is an hour and a half away from my house, in the back of a police car with a drug dog and in handcuffs. He was processed through the system, I guess you could say, which was very, very embarrassing for him. And that's when I contacted Senator Jones to ask for his advice and help because I had no clue. We have never dealt with anything like this. We've never been in trouble like that before. Did not have the money for an attorney. I'm a single parent, and I work 2 jobs. So, anyways, basically after 24 hours of chaos and stress, we had a meeting with the principal at the school system. And let me back up just for a second. As I was walking into the sheriff's department, the principal had called me to tell me about their investigation and what would then happen to Eli. And I said, basically, "Are you kidding me? We are at the police department now." And he said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "They've arrested my son." He had absolutely no clue that Eli had been arrested. He had no clue that they were going to arrest him. So the officer basically that's in the school took it upon herself to, I guess, arrest Eli from a standing ordinance, from my understanding. Anyways, after I met with the principal the following day, I got a phone call from Senator Jones stating that I could go pick up my son. He had, in fact, talked to the judge and the DA, and I could go to Sandersville and pick up my son. Or they could bring him back to me. And, of course, I did not want my son riding in the back of a police car again. So I drove an hour and a half to Sandersville to pick him up. And the place was absolutely horrible. I mean, I would never imagine my son staying in a place like that overnight or visiting a place like that. It was horrible. We then went to court on Monday. I guess it's like a preliminary court case. We went and spoke with the judge. He, in fact, stated that he did not understand how a child that burglarizes a home can only get 30 days in YDC, and a child who brings a knife to school unintentionally, and he held up the knife, stated, "And I have to give him 5 years. I mean, I can give him up to 5 years for this knife," and a child that deliberately goes out and burglarizes a home only 30 days. I've always tried to teach my son to do what is right, basically. He has a counselor that also works with him. We've been trying to tell Eli basically to stop, think, do what you're supposed to do. You know, think about your consequences. That morning he thought about his consequences. If he would have kept that knife on him and gotten caught, basically, at the end of the day, it would have been automatic YDC. Nobody would have understood, why did you keep it all day? He decided on his own to turn this knife in. And I'm supposed to teach my son to do the right thing, but he's getting punished to do the right thing, basically. And to explain that to him is hard. He was suspended out of the school system. They had at first stated that they wanted him to be expelled from school for a year, and the guy that was over, it's not the superintendent, but he's the guy that's over the superintendent. He does the judging, I guess, for the tribunal, stated that he would have leniency on this case because, in fact, Eli did turn the knife in, and it was not his intention to bring the knife to school. Anyways, he only suspended him for the rest of the semester. He's expelled from Morgan County school system. He is in an alternative school right now with other children that, in fact, cause problems in the school system, and that's where they go to continue their education, where they cannot continue their education in the county setting. He was active in football, wrestling, band. He is now not allowed to step on Morgan County Schools premises, period. He has a mentor that is the coach of the Morgan County High School basketball team. He, in fact, was the manager, not a manager, like a water boy, I guess you could say, for the basketball team. He is no longer allowed to escort Coach Gibbons to the school to be the water boy for the basketball team. Band, basically, when he gets to go back into school, I don't think he'll be able to walk right back into band. He's missed a good 2 months worth of practice and playing. He cannot join the wrestling team. They had already started their session. And, I mean, he's missed out a lot. So, you want to say anything?